everybody. So today is Monday. That means it's family movie night, and this is a series where each week I pick a movie that is available on Netflix Stream that is appropriate for the entire family and that you can enjoy together. And this week I wanted to pick something new to Netflix, and so I decided to go with last year's Academy Award nominated film, The Boxtrolls. And The Boxtrolls was made by Leica Studios. They're a stop-motion animation company that has made Coraline and Paranorman. I think that The Boxtrolls is the weakest of those three, but I still think it's strong, and I really enjoyed it. I feel like a lot of people are really hard on this movie because I think they blame Boxtrolls for the Lego Movie not getting nominated. And I agree that I think the Lego Movie is stronger, but to be honest, I think that the Lego Movie is better than Big Hero 6 and How to Train Your Dragon 2. So, stop motion film, and it is about a town called Cheeseboro where they have a clearly defined class system. And the people at the highest class get to eat cheese and wear a white hat. And there's also this whole group called the Boxtrolls, and they live underneath the city, and they are called Boxtrolls because they wear kind of boxes, this sort of clothing. And the Boxtrolls are actually really peaceful and loving, but people think that they're thieves and that they kidnapped a baby. And they don't actually, they more go through the trash and find things, they scavenge kind of, more than they actually steal. And so, but they have this reputation. And so the leader of the White Hat Society, Lord Portly Rind, he makes a deal. There's a man named Archibald Snatcher. He wants nothing more than to be a member of the White Hat Society. And so he makes a deal with the Lord Portly Rind that if he can catch all of the Boxtrolls and round them up, then he will be put into the White Hat Society. Turns out the baby that they think the Boxtrolls have kidnapped or murdered is actually living with them. They found him, they decided to care for him, and the Boxtrolls go by the name that's on their box. The boy's name, he ends up being called Eggs, because that's the box that he wears. And his dad, I guess you'd say, is named Fish. And so they have a really cute little sort of loving relationship. The Boxtrolls do not speak, which I thought was a really smart choice. So then basically the rest of the movie is kind of a cat and mouse game between Snatcher trying to get the Boxtrolls, and the Boxtrolls in their peaceful loving nature, they don't want to fight back, they don't really understand what the stakes are. And Lord Portly Rind has a daughter named Winnie, who is voiced by Elle Fanning, and she gets to know Eggs and becomes friends with him. And so they try to kind of change this misconception and at the same time kind of teach the Lord Portly Rind a lesson, and also, of course, teach catch Snatcher in his villainy. And what I really thought was interesting about this movie is the way that it addresses how we can use clothing and other kinds of labels to differentiate ourselves from each other. And you look at something like sneakers. How different are, if somebody has Air Jordans versus somebody that has generic sneakers, that label, just like the white hat is the symbol of wealth and symbol of class, that we have a lot of those kind of things, whether it be designer brand, whether it's Calvin Klein or Ralph Lauren or whatever. And I think you could really have a great conversation with kids about how we can use clothing or cars or whatever it might be to differentiate ourselves and make us feel like we're better than other people. We're better, just like they think they're better than the Boxtrolls. They think they're better than Snatcher. And also an interesting story about envy and how Snatcher is so envious of the White Hats. And that gets him into all kinds of trouble. And what's interesting too about Snatcher is that he's deathly allergic to cheese. And so every time he eats it, he gets all puffy and everything. And some people will definitely think this movie is gross. It's perfect for the kid that likes things that are kind of slimy and ooey and gooey and maybe a little bit dark. I know lots of kids like that, so I think this movie is a good one for them. There are a couple things that might be concerned to some parents. It definitely has that darker feel. I would say it's probably for older children and teens more than, I think it's probably a little too scary for young kids. Have a scene where a character dresses in drag and sings a song. So you have to decide for yourself whether that's something that you don't want your children to see. I think this movie has some really fun dialogue. I don't think it gets too uber cute. I think it's fairly well paced. I wasn't bored. I know some people thought it was a little slow. I don't feel like it was slow. I thought it was clipped along quite nice. I think it has a really strong voice cast with Elle Fanning and Ben Kingsley's Snatcher is really good. And then it has Toni Collette, Jared Harris, Nick Frost, and Tracy Morgan as some of the other voices. And so I'd be really curious what you guys think of this movie if you got a chance to see it. I really think it's a fun little film. So put in the comment section below if you got a chance to see the Boxtrolls, what you thought. And I hope you have a great time watching it with your family. So thanks so much. Bye.